welcome to the stage our next amazing mastermind speaker, Catarina.
You came here with a mission to serve and a mission to elevate and a mission to leave this world better than you found it. Hands up if this resonates. Yeah. When I was 6 years old, my family moved from Mozambique to the United States. And the disparity of these two worlds, one where we could go to the supermarket and have 10 choices of milk, to another one, recently war-torn, where my mother had to wait in line to get a ration of milk. This disparity was so big that it really shook me. It really shook me. And I remember thinking, how is this possible? And how can people just walk around and act like it is okay? How? And so from a young age, I remember thinking, I can't not make a difference. By the age of 32, with a closet exploding full with Tom shoes and product red t-shirts, you guys remember those? Yeah. I was leading multi-million-dollar initiatives to elevate women and children all around the world. It was beautiful work. And I was making a big contribution. And I also had a lovely husband and a beautiful baby and 2 rescue cats. And so I was doing all the things that we should do to have a meaningful and fulfilling life, right? So you can imagine my surprise when I found myself on my bathroom floor in the middle of the night, laying in a fetal position. And I remember I have this fuzzy white bath mat, I still have it actually, and I was gripping onto it for comfort, and I was surrounded by all of these snotty tissues, and I was sobbing, and I was thinking 3 words over and over and over and over: I am failing. I am failing at being a mother, and I'm failing at being a wife. I'm failing at leading my team, and I am most definitely failing at taking care of myself. And as I sat there in this deep pit of failure, I was so ashamed that I didn't even tell my husband, who was comfortably asleep in the room next door. I never told him. And as I sat there in this pool of failure, all of a sudden, 3 new words came into my awareness. Only love matters. Sounds beautiful, right? But in that moment, I was like, what? Give me something better. I'm loving my husband. I'm loving my baby. I'm loving so many causes at the same time. I'm doing this love thing. So I was so confused. But I was also really happy that at least it was 3 different words. So over the weeks and months that passed, I started noticing with everybody that I worked with all the different leaders I worked with, that this was an epidemic, this exhaustion and this burnout. I saw it from the rural clinics in southern Africa to these really hip co-working spaces in Southern California. Different crowds, same symptoms, same old story. A friend of mine who was working for one of the leading humanitarian organizations in the world got voted Employee of the Year, and she confessed to me she had been running on 3 hours of sleep the whole year, and she was miserable. And some of my entrepreneur friends who reached their dreams of growing 6- and 7-figure businesses with a side order of autoimmune disease. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And I remember thinking as I started seeing this all around me with all the leaders I was working with, this is not the leadership that we need in these times, in these crazy, complex, pivotal times that we're in. And this is definitely not the change-making and the leadership that we need to be modeling for our children and future generations who are inheriting this world from us. We need more creativity and innovation. We need more compassion. We need more focus. And we need to be more connected to our intuition, because that is the thing that's going to separate us from the machines that are going to do everything faster and more efficiently than us very, very soon, and have already started doing that. It's what makes us human. And these are all things that research has shown that stress and sleep deprivation inhibit. So I got really curious, and I started looking around for leaders who were doing things differently. And it was hard to find somebody who wasn't running on bottomless coffee. Leaders who would just enter a room, and it was like the energy would just shift. Everything would get so peaceful. And it wouldn't even matter what they would say or do. People would just radiate towards them. Do you guys know these kind of people? I started thinking about people like Nelson Mandela, who I've looked up to since being a little girl, and Amma, the hugging saint. And also some leaders and teachers that I started following as I wanted to figure out what the secret was, like Maria Nemeth, who's the founder of the Academy for Coaching Excellence, and also a lifelong activist. And Gurmukh Khalsa, who did my Kundalini Yoga teacher training well into her 70s and continues to do so, all around the world. And as I spent more time with these types of leaders, I discovered something they had in common. And it was a daily presence practice. Nelson Mandela would go on early morning walks, even into his presidency, surrounded by his bodyguards. Amma, with her chanting and recitations. Maria, who takes multiple moments a day to really tune into what are the qualities that I want to embody right now. And Gurmukh, who for decades upon decades has woken up before 4 a.m. to do her morning spiritual practice and meditation. It was something they really held sacred. Now, I'm going to be honest and tell you that at the time, I was way more into Snoop Dogg than spirituality and mindfulness. But I remember reading somewhere that Pharrell Williams, one of my favorite music producers, meditated in the shower. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to give this a shot, because I don't know, there's no crumbs here. And I called my sister up and I said, I am going to meditate for 1 minute a day. For 1 minute a day, I'm going to drop it to the mat, drop it to the mat, drop it to the mat. And she laughed. And it was the most painful minute of my day. Remember that first time you started meditating? Oh my gosh, it was so long and the thoughts were running wild in my head and I was twitching. But I stuck with it. And over time, I started meditating more and more. And my practice grew. And I started loving it, really looking forward to that time in my day. And then one day, something really shifted. It was like somebody hit the pause button on everything. And it got so quiet and so still. I'd never experienced that before. And it was like I was surrounded by this unconditional love, and it was within me too. Like I was being embraced, and I was being embracing. And I was being loved, and I was also being loving. And the separation between those two fell away. And as I sat there in this flow of love with my heart burst open mid-meditation, it was like I could feel the ecstasy of the universe. It was like vibrating in every cell of my being. I don't know if I was in that lovegasm for a millisecond or a million years, but it was delicious. And as I came out of that, I realized, oh, I've been confused when it comes to love. We're all confused when it comes to love. You see, there is love as a verb. The love that we give and we receive, that's directional. The love that's transactional, conditional. Oh, have I earned it? Or does he deserve it? And then there's this other love, this capital L love, love as a noun. That's non-directional, and if there is a direction, it's like a source, and it's unconditional. You don't need to do anything. It just is. It's like this ocean that we're swimming in that is in us. And like a fish in water, we just need to make enough space to remember that we are in this ocean and of this ocean. This moment changed everything because I started thinking, how can I live this kind of love? And how can I lead this kind of love in this state of being, which I started referring to as being enlivened. Enlivened. And really living in love, for love, and as love. You know what I'm talking about? And when I started doing that, it was like everything changed. Everything changed. And it was like miracles started happening, things I never would have believed, you know? Do you want to know how I ended up on a stage in front of 800 people last year internationally? Or on a private charter jet over the beaches of Mozambique? Or starting to write music, a song a day after never being a musician. I was always a dancer. Do you want to know? I used to be a go-getter. Now I'm a grow-getter, glow-getter, mindsetter. Ride the waves high and low, go with the flows better. Who needs to hustle? I'm a celebrator. The secret sauce, I'm a meditator, liberator, activator, shine bright lighthouse illuminator. When you live enlivened, you live enlivened. Like a child in a garden for the first time, everything is so beautiful. And you're in so much awe that the details don't matter. It's not about how do I fit things in or where do I get the energy for these things. Your perspective broadens and your compassion widens. You can't not make a difference. And you start making a difference in ways that you never could have imagined, on this scope you never envisioned, and with this energy that you never thought you had, at least not after your, teens. When your canvas of your life is love, it doesn't matter what the brush strokes are or the colors are. You just leave a legacy of love because you just allow love to flow through you. And really, when you live in enlivened, it only takes 1 minute a day. 1 minute starts with a minute, just connecting deep into this ocean of love, letting yourself really sit there. So if you'd like to meditate with me, you're welcome to. Visit enlivened.com. I have a beautiful Kundalini meditation there that you can join me. And if that's not your jam, it's okay. Just pick a daily adventure. Remember, you can't not make a difference. So make it with love. Thank you.